in this world, we really need to do everything to lift each other up.
These are the days.
Mm.
Diana, should I just jump in, or are you going to
Yeah,
say?
just go ahead. Go ahead. You're on.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and my name is Kai Pacha. I am an astrologer, New Paradigm Astrology, and I am here today to address the lunar eclipse. This is the Solstice Festival. We had I'm an astrologer, right? So I'm going to be talking about astrology. I don't know how much astrology you know. This may be a little bit of a crash course in astrology for you, but I'm going to try to keep it as real and simple as I can. The title of this talk is Why Me? Why Now? And What Next? The astrology of 2020 and beyond. Yeah, and I'm just going to be going through one thing after another. But first of all, I just want to address this. Well, yeah, let's look at why me. Why me? Why are we here? Why are you here? Why am I here right now? In the third dimension on this planet Earth, it is because we are initiates and we are here to be initiated, and we are here to initiate our brothers and sisters into a whole new paradigm, a whole new understanding of ourselves, of reality, of possibility, of potential, of understanding. Evolutionary astrology, which is what I work with, is based upon reincarnation, that we are old souls that we are basically multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual beings. And from spirit, we adapt an individual soul, and that individual soul incarnates into an ego physical body, has experiences, excarnates, dies, back into the spirit, soul dips down again. So we have this reincarnation, and the soul comes back, and with the help of angelic or, spiritual beings, chooses the mother, the father, the DNA, the gender, the religion, the economic, the color of the skin. Okay, the soul says, this is who I am. These are the lessons I want to learn. These are the gifts that I have to bring. This is why I am here. Sometimes the souls even get together and say, okay, I want that DNA and that DNA, even though they don't like each other. And they end up getting together, and you have got parents who fight each other, but you got in, you got here, by golly, ready or not, consciously. Anyway, so the soul is unconscious, and like an iceberg, it is 90% of the mass of our brain is unconscious. This is what Gurdjieff said, okay, a European mystic in the early century. So 10% of us is ego, 10% of us is conscious. So we have a certain amount of free will and free choice. You could say 10% of your destiny is your choice. And you're dealing with 90% of the choices you made in your past lives. And so what astrology is, what your birth chart is, okay, is when you take the first breath, prana, spirit, breath, and they cut that umbilical cord, and you draw in your spirit, and that is your birth chart. That is your astrological, that is the blueprint of your soul. And it has within it where you are coming from in your past lives, the gifts, the strengths, the weaknesses, the challenges, what you never did before. So we have multiple purposes in any given lifetime. Multiple purposes. There may be some things we've never done before that we want to try that are new. We may be masters at something else and we want to bring in our mastership. We may want to meet somebody else that we didn't resolve an issue with. There's multiple. Okay, so why me? okay, is that, you have chosen the school of planet Earth for a number of incarnations in order to evolve your soul into making that 90% unconscious a little more conscious. And who knows, we could say Christ, Buddha, Mohammed, whatever. Maybe they got all that. Maybe for them, enlightenment is no more unconscious. Ah! Hallelujah. So actually, maybe we become more free as we become more conscious. Okay, so that's like, so why me? Okay, well, why me is that, well, the other aspect of that I would say is all of creation is God witnessing itself. This is an expanding universe. We are the expansion of the universe. Every time we create something that's never been seen before, done before, heard before, experienced before, it is creation witnessing itself in a new way. So we are God witnessing itself. This is creation. So frickin' go for it and create something new within all of the context. So this is, why me? And then we come in at this particular time. Why me? Why now? Why now? Whoa. Okay. This is a huge turning point. We're coming out, first of all, of a 26,000 year cycle of the Kali Yuga, from the age of darkness into the age of light. And everybody on planet Earth right now, why do you think the population is so high? Okay, all these souls said, oh my God, let's get to Earth now. Let's get into bodies. It's the end of the Kali Yuga. Oh my God. Let me down there. So yeah, we are emerging. So we are birthing out of a 26,000 year cycle. On top of that, we have been in the age of the patriarchy for 6,500 years. This is many lifetimes. We had a matriarchy before that, so you can consider we had many lives in the matriarchy, then we had many lives in the patriarchy, okay? And now we're coming back to initiate a beautyarchy, okay? I mean, we're moving into no more archy or whatever, After 6,500 years, let's say a lifetime's 100 years, you had 65 lifetimes. Okay, with male-dominated, conquering, yang, using all the Earth's resources. How much real estate can I get? How much money can I get? How much can I own? How much can I? I mean, the nature of yin and yang, masculine and feminine, in the I Ching. Okay, the yang is creative, extrovert, and the yin is feminine, introvert. So we're also we are rebalancing the masculine and the feminine. It's been super masculine, and the feminine has been stepped on and used and exploited and Prior to that, let's not, prior to that, the matriarchy, okay, the women, okay, were in charge and dominating, and the men were like slaves to the, queen bee in the beehive. So, and we've all been, let's also get this, we've all been men and women. We all have a Mars and Venus. We all have an anima and an animus. We are both yin and yang, masculine and feminine, okay? And we've incarnated as a man in order to learn these lessons. And we've incarnated as a woman in order to learn these lessons. And let's not say learn, let's also say teach. We incarnate as a woman to teach these lessons. We incarnate as a man to teach these lessons, or, whatever. So, now we're at this, you got the whole LGBTQ movement. We've got this whole gender, energy, and this, changing and shifting of masculine and feminine and patriarchy and matriarchy and me too and you too and men too and whatever. I want to start a men too movement. Anyway, 'cause I've only got an hour. I could talk forever, so I'm going to try to stay on track here. So it's why now? Why now? Right. So I did the 26,000 years, 6,500. And now what? There's a 2,000 year cycle. It's the changing of the ages. From the age of Pisces, kind of brought in by Jesus Christ, the fish, multiplying the fishes represented by the fish. You know, he was a Pisces. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is the beginning and the end. It's infinite potential out of which all creation manifests and returns. It's also the collective unconscious. I could talk about Pisces for 5 hours. Into Aquarius. So we're at this cusp. 2,000 years approximately. Okay, there's, you know, this is big changes take time. I always say the shift from Aquarius, Pisces into Aquarius, if it's 2,000 years, it's got to take 100 years. I'm saying from 1950 to 2050. This could be like a 100-year shift, okay, you know, where it takes us, and then it's not like we are going to experience the age of Aquarius. We're giving birth to the age of Aquarius. We are the forebearers. Our children's children's children will experience the age of Aquarius, okay? You know, some of us, you know, some people envision it. We're sowing the seeds of it. We are seed people. I don't think that anybody living in a, you know, in a skin suit right now is going to, you know, experience the age of Aquarius. I don't want to burst any bubbles, but so we're in the birth canal right now. This is the birth canal. So within this shift from Pisces, dream, sleep, unconscious, follow the leader, innocent, naive. You believe, you know, just, you know, have faith and hope and trust in heaven and be saved and follow a guru or a teacher or a priest or a pope or a, you know, what, it's just like, tell me, you know, I don't know anything, help me. Now we're moving into the age of Aquarius ruled by Uranus. Third eye, laser beam awakening, okay, lightning, World Wide Web. You know, Pisces is the collective unconscious. Aquarius is the collective conscious. We're waking up. We're waking up from 2,000 years of sleeping, following, hoping, and praying, okay, into Aquarius, like, whew, wake up, open your third eye. Get in touch with your genius, with your individuality, with your uniqueness, with your, so it's like, oh my goodness. So people are kind of getting, you know, wake up, wake up, wake up. I often say Uranus is like dropping a hairdryer in your bathtub. You know, you're trying to relax. Guess what? Oh, baby. And a lot of times you want to go back to sleep. Pisces and Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune goes around every 165 years. Returned to Pisces in 2010 for 14 years until 2024. Very strong, very powerful. Pisces is addictions, escapism, denial, avoidance. You know, give me some drugs, give me some movies, give me some Netflix, give me some alcohol, give me some sex, give me some books, give me anything to like not wake up. It's like, you know what, I want to lose myself. It's even suicide. It's like, I want out of this body. This is, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, so, you know, this is a time where many people will be checking out. Many people will be overwhelmed. Many people will, I mean, this is the downside of, you know, this Pisces is, you know, psychosis and neurosis and all kinds of, you know, disorders. Also, it's the immune system. And our immune systems are all getting attacked right now, as we all know. Focus, 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 focus. Now we have, within this time period, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all coming together for the first time in 4,000 years since 2000 BC, the founding of Babylon. Jupiter goes around every 12 years, Saturn every 28 years, 29, Pluto every 248 years. And they've all, like, you know, the wheels in a Swiss watch, okay, they all, boom, come together. They came together pretty close in 1200, they come pretty close, but now they're on top of each other. Okay, and they have not gotten this close on top of each other for almost 4,000. It was 1894 BC. What does this signify? What does this symbolize? It's also in the sign of Capricorn. And here I kind of maybe want to go to the chart. I want to show you the chart. I want to move this around, but I'll talk a little more first to give you some background. Capricorn is opposite Cancer. If you watch the Pele Report, I do a weekly Pele Report. It's an astrological weekly update. I just did one last Wednesday. I do it every Wednesday. And I talked about this. If you want to know more about this, okay, this is the security axis. It's also the gender selection axis. And it has to do with Capricorn is Earth, physical, financial stability. And Cancer is home, roots, mother, emotional security. These moon's nodes, these eclipses, have been moving through the Capricorn-Cancer axis since October of 2018. So in a way, these eclipses, we're closing up, okay, what really started in late 2018. And this will be the last eclipse, okay, that is in the Cancer-Capricorn axis. So we are all dealing with, obviously, financial security. We're all threatened. The economies are all threatened. And Cancer is home, family, like my parents and my grandparents, and COVID and my children and my home. Safety, creating safe space for the children in the future. So we're all dealing very powerfully with these energies. As of May, the nodes actually shifted into Sagittarius and Gemini, where they are also going to be staying there until January of 2022. So you may be feeling also a shift right now, this ending of the Cancer Capricorn stuff now moving into Sagittarius Gemini. Sagittarius Gemini is the thought axis, and it has to do with beliefs, multiculturalism. Okay, it has to do with Sagittarius is the expansion of consciousness through the right brain and intuition, religion, beliefs. Fundamentalism is the shadow side, doctrines and dogma and, rigid beliefs that, or the need to, the North Node is the future, that is in Gemini, the need to study, be curious, learn, become more of a student. So we have this, mental, it's the thought mental axis. So there's going to be lots more around communication, lots more around belief systems, lots more around what is true. Honesty, truth, integrity, walking our talk, or lying and BS bullshit. And the need to discern and discriminate between what is true and what is lies. This is a very powerful time. From now, for the next couple of years, the eclipses will be happening in Gemini and Sagittarius. I want to get back to this Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter. Pluto goes around every 248 years. Guess what? The United States of America is having a Pluto return. Okay, it was born in 1776, just about 248 years ago. It's coming up in a couple of years, I think 2022. I mean, I actually have the chart of the United States, but first one, Pluto is death and resurrection, god of the underworld. Okay, it has to do with initiation. It has to do with metamorphosis and alchemical transformation. It has to do with forces beyond our control, like death and sex and other people and other people's money. It is the force of Shiva or Kali, the destroyer, that wants to take out the old, that the new may emerge. So this is a very big turning point, and wherever it comes around, where it is in your birth chart is where, where you go through your most amount of transformation this lifetime. And wherever it is, as it transits, it spends about, anywhere, it has an elliptical orbit. So, it's not 20 years in a sign. It actually came into Capricorn in 2008. If you recall the financial crisis of 2008, this was Pluto coming into our financial security and staying in there until 2024. So we've got 4 more years, and it's kind of been building since 2008. So we're going through the eye of the needle here. And I could go on for that about everything. So Saturn comes around every 28 years. So it came into Capricorn, 3 years ago. It's on the cusp of Aquarius right now. It's coming back retrograde, into Capricorn. Jupiter is also there, goes around every 12 years. Saturn is contraction. Jupiter is expansion. Okay, Saturn is the past. Okay, Jupiter has more to do with, future expansion. Saturn is conservative, and the institutions and the foundations and the government and the military and the laws and the boundaries and the rules coming around to Capricorn, where it rules Capricorn. Authoritarian governments with Pluto, okay, even more powerful, but needing to transform. And then here comes Jupiter. Just for a year, just came in, in December of last year, 2019, and now it's joining and doing this whole dance. Okay, and they all went forward, okay, until April, and then now they're all going retrograde until September, and in September they all go direct again, and then for the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn come together for the first time in 20 years, and they start a new 20-year political cycle. So this election in the United States and all the governments all around the world, China, Hong Kong, and Brazil, and all this you can expect that we are ending also. It's like end Kali Yuga, end Pisces. Well, we're, end patriarchy, end this last 20-year cycle. So, this is a huge period where it's let go of the past and envision a new future and go within, retrograde, review, reflect, repair, remember. So we're in this time period until really September, when things start going forward again. And then, I got to say, this is, if you think things are bad now, you want to brace yourself. Okay? Because Mars, the god of war, goes around every 2 years, okay, is spending 6 months in its own sign of Aries, the warrior. Very often a retrograde Mars in its own sign indicates war. So we have some very big challenges. We are the initiates to hold on to the light, to do our meditations, to stay in our center, to not run and hide, to not try to escape, to actually lead the way and be a lighthouse, be a beacon, is the challenge of these times. And why now? Let's look at the lunar eclipse, because this is a very powerful time. And I'll say that Neptune also in Pisces has to do with illusions. Illusions and delusions. It's square to Sagittarius and Gemini, which is truth. We are also ending illusions. We may have illusions, even as light workers. that all the world is light and love and beauty and goodness, and all of the people are good, and we're kind of innocent, and we, we want, and we think everybody else is innocent, and oh, don't talk about evil or the bad or the dark or whatever. We'll do our meditations and avoid and not deal with and not look at and until what? This is a time, okay, where the serpent comes in and bites you in the butt. And it's like, wake up. This is the third dimension. You are in a time, space, material, black, white, positive, negative, yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong, heaven, hell. There may be, of course, there are, I believe. Science has proven 13 dimensions. We can get out of polarized reality, but when we come into the body, okay, our ego, our mind, our brain, we think, we make decisions, maybe 1,000 or 1 billion a second. Okay, our brain is like a bazillion it's a supercomputer. Transistors just go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Well, we're doing this like 1 billion times a second. We're a huge freaking supercomputer, but it's necessary to make judgments, whether they're conscious or not. You are deciding every moment. Okay, you are deciding. It is necessary to judge. There's this big movement, I think, with lots of people. Oh, don't judge. Oh, you're judging. Oh, that's judgmental. Capricorn is about judgment. Saturn is about judgment. Jupiter is about truth. Okay, we live in a world where it's unavoidable. You need to judge to get out of bed in the morning. What we need to be conscious of is the criteria that we use for our judgment. And is it true or not? Is it connected to our highest good and the highest good of all others? Or is it dark and low and selfish and narcissistic or whatever? But, where there is this, coming out of self, from the child that is self-centered and subjective to the wizened elder, which is Capricorn, which is the objective king, queen, looking after the next 7 generations. We're all growing up together. And part of growing up is becoming more objective, less subjective, not about I, me, my, whether I wear a mask or not because I don't want to wear a mask. We are all becoming more and more aware that we are in a matrix that is woven together, and everything we do has an effect on everybody and everything else. We are waking up to Aquarius's community. We are a global community. And whether it's internet or COVID, okay, we are a global community, and we are realizing more and more how we affect, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part, every other living thing on this planet, whether it's fish, the 4-leggeds, the 2-leggeds, the wingeds. It's a powerful, powerful awakening that we are going through. So how do we make these judgments? And it's according to your beliefs. And the end of illusion is waking up to, okay, is that really my truth? Or was that my mom's truth, my dad's truth, my race, my religion, my capitalistic or communistic, or whose truth? Let's get in touch with my truth so that I can then, relate my truth. It's about becoming conscious of the unconscious. That's what I've said. The whole purpose of life is making the unconscious conscious. That's what we're doing here. We're becoming conscious. So why me? Why now? Well, I have to talk about the lunar eclipse because this is a very, I got into Rudolf Steiner. I don't know if you're familiar with him, along around Gurdjieff. Okay, in the early 1900s, he was an amazing, probably the most amazing clairvoyant clairaudient mystic, okay, of this century, that last century, whatever. He had something to say about lunar eclipses, and I want to share it with you right now. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. You ready? Get on your mark, get set, and go. When there is an eclipse of the moon, the man of today merely says, now the earth comes between the sun and the moon. Hence we see the shadow cast upon the moon by the earth. That is the physical explanation. But in this case also, the old initiate knew that a spiritual reality was behind the physical fact. He knew that when there is an eclipse of the moon, thoughts stream through darkness down upon the earth, and that such thoughts have a closer relationship with the subconscious life than with the conscious life of the human being. The old initiates often made use of a certain simile when speaking to their pupils. It is, of course, necessary to translate their words into modern language. But this is the gist of what they said. Visionaries and dreamers love to go by rambles by moonlight when the moon is full. There are, however, certain people who have no wish to receive the good thoughts coming to them from the cosmos, but who, on the contrary, are desirous of getting hold of evil, diabolical thoughts. Such people will choose the moment of a lunar eclipse for their nocturnal wanderings. Eclipses of the sun and the moon, recurring as they do in the course of every year, may really be looked upon as safety valves. The lunar eclipse exists for the purpose of allowing the evil thoughts which are present in the cosmos to approach those human beings who are desirous of being possessed by them. People do not, as a rule, act in full consciousness. Now, I want to spread the light, love, and happiness and joy, and I know that we just did, some together, and I don't want to scare anybody and this, that, and the other thing. However, it's better to be awake. I mean, we actually had an earthquake last night. This lunar eclipse was like 5-6 hours ago. Okay, so I mean, this is the time. It's been going on for days, kind of building, and you may feel there is a heaviness, there's a darkness, there's an intensity, there's a like, what's going on? The numbers of COVID are going up like nuts, right? And everything, the intensity, I mean, it's like you don't want to even open the news. Yeah, this is the end of illusions that, okay, it'll all take care of itself, and we'll just let, the president or the Pope or the, whatever, the economy or Bill Gates, or let these other people run it, or I mean, it's like, this is a time to like, we need to really face ourselves, face our truth, come into correct integrity and alignment. This is, and we are all being tested. We are all being checked. Part of this initiation, Saturn, Pluto brings us down to the essential. What is essential? We're getting stripped. We're getting peeled like a banana. Okay, we are like snakes shedding an old skin. And it's not easy, and it's not comfortable, and it's not nice. It's not smooth. Birth is not a smooth process. There's very often pain, sometimes violence involved in the act of birth and death. So these are very, very intense times where we are, each one of us, being challenged about who we are, what we believe, what is right and what is wrong, and what is truth and what is lies. I mean, just look at the fake news and the media. It's like all over the place, this conspiracy theory and that theory and this other theory. And it's like, science used to be the God, okay, and tell us what is real. And now it's like, You know, that's phony science. That's phony science. We can't trust science. We can't trust our politicians. We can't trust our priests. We can't trust freaking anybody. It's like, wow. Oh my God. I mean, it's not funny. It's painful. It hurts. Maybe I've laughed a little too much in my past, because now I'm needing to get real serious. So, why me? Okay, why now? And what's next? What's next? Let's talk about what's next. What's coming up for us? Where is this going? How long is it going to take? What is it all about? And I want to say that, you know, there is, I'm not a fortune teller, okay? Astrology does not tell us the future. I'm sorry. Anybody who says they know your future because they're an astrologer is lying. You can only look at everything as it is now. And if no new creative thought or input, or if you take everything as it is now and you know, there's no change, you can say, okay, if there's no consciousness, if there's no free will and there's no choice, you can predict it. So I will say, you've got a 50-50 chance, maybe a good astrologer, you know, 60-70%, you know, I mean, so there, yeah, you can, you know, if the more dull and unconscious somebody is, I mean, you could predict maybe a dog's life. Or, yeah, you know what, not to say that, you know, dogs are bad, but dogs have consciousness. Anyway, I'm not going to get into animal consciousness right now. We're talking human consciousness. There's animal consciousness, plant consciousness, mineral consciousness. There's, you know, we're not the only consciousness around here. There's extraterrestrial consciousness. There's planetary consciousness. It goes on and on and on. But let's look at human consciousness and what is coming in the future. And what astrology tells us, okay, is that this potential is arriving. This potential is leaving. Okay, spring is ending, summer is coming. Okay, does it, and maybe it like the Farmer's Almanac or something that says, okay, this is going to be a very dry summer. Okay, or this is going to be, you know, a very wet winter. Or, you know, I mean, you know, you can get, you know, the better and better and better. I always say it's like surfing, and astrology tells us when there's a wave coming. It's up to us as surfers to ride that wave, to master the art of surfing, the art of living. We have to paddle at the right time. We have to balance at the right time. We have to stand up at the right time. We have to lean forward, backward. Da, da, da. It's up to us. We have free will, and we wipe out. And we have to go back and catch another wave. Well, I'll tell you, there's a huge tsunami wave. And it's like, guess it's time to paddle. You know, if you're not paddling, you're going to get kaplonkers. You're not even going to stand up on your freaking surfboard, baby. I mean, there's people going down right now. We know 500,000 people have died of this COVID. I mean, there's a number of people. You know, we could say that the Earth's population will decrease. Yeah, a lot of people have said, okay, boy, this is enough for me. I learned what I came in to learn. Good luck, you guys. So let's get more specific. Okay, big tsunami, big wave. Like I said, you know, this is the Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction goes on through the rest of 2020. And like I said, really by December and January, there is a big shift. Okay, there's a big shift because Jupiter and Saturn both move out of Capricorn, cardinal Earth, heavy physical financial security, and you know, I mean, it's like, you know, slow and big, and you know, the corporations and the governments and I mean, it's, and it goes into Aquarius, fixed air. I actually call you know, Aquarius outer space. I think Gemini and Libra are air signs, but Aquarius is outer space. Aquarius is the future. It's extraterrestrial intelligence to me. Okay, it is beyond. It's the genius, the mad scientist, the eccentric, the nut, the revolutionary, the visionary. Saturn will be there for the next 2.5 years. Jupiter's going to be there for a year. So 2021, okay, December, January, things will shift. Okay. And many changes are happening between now and then. And a lot of, people are going to get stripped. They're going to get exposed. There's going to be, there, like I said, there could be violence. There already has been violence. There could be more violence. Let's put it that way. As people freak out, as people reach it's like we're all getting backed into the corner, backed into the corner, backed into the corner, backed into the corner. It's like, who are you? What is your truth? When are you going to stand for yourself? When are you going to, be? Yeah. So Mars goes retrograde. It's already entered Aries. The masculine, I'm going to talk about the masculine energy. And it's going to go direct until I think September, October. It's going to go retrograde, then it's going to go forward again, and it's not going to leave Aries until January 7th, I think. So Mars is the warrior in the sign of Aries, the warrior, and when these two warriors get together, it's like it's time to initiate a new pioneer, a new. Aries is the first sign. The masculine wants to penetrate, wants to initiate, pioneer, begin. And there's some frustration. There's the retrograde is, reaction and being held back because why? Chiron, the wounded healer. A planetoid discovered in 1977 is a lot to do with Christ consciousness, the wounded healer. Okay, it has to do with, again, a kind of a death resurrection process. If you look at the mythology of Chiron, goes around every 51 years, has a very elliptical orbit, spends like 2 years in Libra and 8 years in Aries. It spends more time in Aries than any other sign. So what needs the most amount of healing? What is the most messed up? And where are we going to get our biggest crisis? Okay, around the masculine, around conquering, around sexuality, around, the Me Too bringing these men down and the patriarchy coming down and da-da-da-da-da-da. Chiron went into Aries, okay, about a year ago. It's got about 7 more years. Yep. Mars will get out of there in January, but Chiron is hanging in because this is a deep surgical process having to heal the masculine energy. I mean, it's been, overblown and overused and misused and distorted. And, there's been so much, okay, that has gone loco in the last 6,500 years. Yes, the volcano needs to bring all the deep, dark issues up to the surface and out. I used to live in Hawaii. Actually, I lived on the volcano. I used to watch the lava come out of the top, and the big island would grow a square mile every year, So it's yes, it comes up and it comes out and then it flows, but it expands into new territory and the lush, beautiful tropical islands. Anyway. So, I just want to say that, I can, and I can share my screen again just a little bit with this whole process. I'm not going to get to the United States chart. I see that this is all going too fast. You can see this lunar eclipse, right? This lunar eclipse is the moon in Capricorn joining it. Okay, this is Mars in Aries. I talked about Neptune in Pisces. Here's Chiron. Look at Mars, the masculine, in the sign of Aries, the warrior, coming around to Chiron. When is that going to be? Bop, 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 bop. I mean, it's there now within a couple of degrees, but July 13th, 9 degrees, 9 degrees. You see that? I mean, this is how intense this is right now. Mars is like the scalpel, and Chiron is surgery. This is, this is masculine surgery. Jesus. And here's Black Moon Lilith. And this is Eris, the great goddess. These are very powerful feminine energies. Okay. And you can see that this, this is all in what? Square. The 90 degrees square to this Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn. This is Jupiter. This is Pluto. This is Saturn. Okay, coming around here. And so what happens, I'm going to just keep going forward here. Here we go. Watch Mars. Mars comes up, and a retrograde is just a phenomena. It's an optical illusion, actually. There's a little R here that says retrograde. Okay, around September, Mars turns. It doesn't turn around and go retrograde. The Earth is passing it by. So it's like you're passing a car on a freeway and it looks like it's going backwards. Okay, so it stays, with the same stars behind it. That's what a retrograde is. Okay, but it's very interesting that this just happens to be occurring this time in the sign of Aries. I mean, Mars only goes retrograde every 2 years, and for it to be in the same sign of Aries, I forget when the last time it did its retrograde cycle in Aries. But there you can see, like I said, it's not till January until it goes into Taurus. So the initiation, the birth, okay, the Braxton Hicks, we are now in contractions. We are now dilating. We now need to push. We are in the birth canal, okay, and it's going to be January before there's crowning and baby's head starts to come out. And it's just, there is, yes, you can see here, okay, I kind of went too far. You can see that, what is this happening? There's our Jupiter, Saturn conjunction, where? At 0 degrees. Look at 0, 0, right on the solstice point. Jupiter passes Saturn, December 21st. I mean, this could not be more. Look at the sun at 0 degrees of Capricorn. Whoa, look at this. It's happening with a square moon. Anyway, conjunct Chiron. But see, now here's another big thing. And how much time do I have? Oh, I'm almost out of time. What happens in 21, right? Well, what happens in 21, actually, you guys, I have to, I'm going to have to burst a few more bubbles. You can see Saturn is going, direct. It's going up to 4 degrees. It's going up to 6 degrees, 7 degrees. What happens here? Oh my goodness. Uranus in Taurus, the sign of banks, money, survival, food, resources. Okay. This is in Uranus is shocking, awakening, sudden enlightenment, like wake up everybody, what you're doing to Gaia, what you're doing to the planet, what you're doing to your own physical bodies, can you survive? Will we survive as a species, or are we going to go extinct? Saturn. What kind of laws, rules, governments, institutions, external authority figures, okay, are we having? This is, and the third quarter square is a crisis in consciousness. It's a karmic aspect. The 270 degree square in astrology is a very karmic aspect. What goes around comes around. It's like a third quarter square moon. Yeah. And so what, this is February of 2021. Okay, well, that's, let's keep going. I mean, really what happens is, Uranus keeps going forward. Okay. And, Eris is, still, she goes around every 1,500 years. I mean, we have a Pluto square Eris for a long time. Pluto stays in Capricorn all through 2021. Okay, Saturn is still here in Aquarius. Look at Saturn square Uranus all through 2021. I could speed this thing up a little bit, but I don't want to make you dizzy. I mean, you know what I'll do is I'll stop it being days and make it into months. Because what I want to say is really, we have a series of very difficult, challenging aspects, okay, coming through. You can see a Saturn-Neptune conjunction, okay? Saturn is reality, Neptune is illusion. This is reality bursting the bubbles of illusions. This is in 2026. What I say is 2026 is really the breaking point because Uranus gets out of Taurus. Uranus comes into a trine with Pluto, and that's a positive, the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, however you want to live it, the law of three, very powerful, beautiful, supportive energy. And that divided by 2 is a sextile, 60 degrees. So, in 2026, we finally have some beautiful, supportive aspects. I mean, again, it's not funny. I have to stop laughing, but it's very serious. It is very challenging. It is very deep, and there is great potential. Okay, this is the birth of a new paradigm. This is the birth of a new consciousness, of a new reality, where we can reform and restructure all of our healthcare systems so that we take care of our elders and we take care of our babies and we take care of the future. And we can and we can go back to actually taking care of Mother Earth and stop, backing out of, agreements that are going to clean up the air and clean up the water and stop burning the Amazon and I mean, we've got a lot of changes to make. And of course, they're not going to happen in 1 year of 2020. Are you kidding? Because you get a new, a new guy in the Oval Office or something. You think that's going to no. This is deep. The conspiracy theorists are talking about the deep state. Okay, these are entrenched. Sometimes we could say political figures are puppets of the bankers, right? Bankers. The bankers, the money is running the planet. Uranus is going through, Taurus, which is the banking institute. We're going to see stock markets and, values of currencies. And, oh my God, cryptocurrency is going to, there's going to be Uranus going through Taurus for the next 6 years, is going to just be, it's unstable, revolutionizing, sudden, unexpected, unpredictable events of an extreme nature designed to wake us up. So what you want to be doing at this particular time, is reinventing yourself. And looking at, how am I supporting? Taurus is my, it's my job, it's my income, it's my survival in this physical body, in this physical world. These will be threatened if they're not threatened now. And, this is, it's like, I suggest self-sufficiency as much as possible. I'm in a permaculture community. I want you to get out there and grow gardens, get your solar panels, get your windmills, grow your garden. I mean, I'm not saying that everything is going to, go absolutely haywire. In fact, I think the internet is going to, Elon Musk and Bill Gates. And I mean, there's going to be all kinds of major, financial breakthroughs, electronics industries is going, there's going to be all kinds of inventions, all kinds of, flying cars or, self-driven, this and, the Internet of Things. I mean, it's going to really, really modify, really change. I would say to definitely become as technically literate as you possibly can. I know there are Luddites that say, I don't want to do Facebook anymore. I don't want to do Instagram. I don't like Twitter, and I'm not going to. Either do I. Yeah, I'd love to surf and eat pineapples and coconuts, and meditate. But it's like, you want to know what's coming. I'm just telling you what's coming. And yeah, you can come to Costa Rica, and I'm in some kind of community here where, everybody's like, get away from the capitalistic monster, military driven, whatever, yeah. I definitely suggest you get out of cities. Okay, 5G and the cities and the concrete and the electromagnetic fields and I swear they are tied in with, Rudolf Steiner has tied, okay, changes in the magnetic field and the earth electrical field, okay, is directly connected with plagues and directly connected with, okay, these, the new viruses and new changes in DNA and things like this. So, the less you can expose yourself to, large concentrations of population and electricity and magnetic fields, the more healthy you are going to be. But I don't know if I'm supposed to take questions here. I got 2 minutes left. Diana, help. So I don't.
Hi.
I can just close. I can say,
Well, has anyone got any questions for Kai Purchasers? Sharon, have you? You were waving there.
I would just like to say that my son is a 25 Capricorn. So all of this is just
in his phase. He's living it.
Right. Thank you. This has been really, really, mind expanding, and I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. If you want to get more personal and you want to see, you want to look at where is, 25 degrees Capricorn in your birth chart. Which one of the 12 houses or fields of human experience for you personally are going through this huge birth canal and this huge transformation and this huge change? This is the beauty of astrology, is that you can get very individualized and very personalized and see where is this Mars and Aries, hitting, okay, and is it, opposing my moon? Is it trine, my Venus? Is it, so, there are some people, I do chart readings day in and day out for thousands of people. I look at all these people, and there are people that it's like, it's like if Virgo and Taurus and, some of these earth signs, they're getting a trine, okay, from this Capricorn, and so there are actually people that it's like, what, this is a very powerful, good year for you. It's like, you are, healing and opening and strengthening, and it's time for you to, start your new business, and it's time for you to speak out and step up and blah, 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 blah. So it's not like everybody's going down. We are all, like I say, we're on our own unique individual soul journey here. And yes, we are tied in, connected, and there is, the collective conscious and the collective unconscious. But within that, it's like we're still fish in the ocean of the collective unconscious, and the fish can still swim around. And even if the water gets polluted, okay, the fish can still try to swim towards some fresh water. I don't know, but whatever. Well, I want to thank you very much for having me. I hope that this is helpful. It's better prepared. The truth may hurt, but in the end, I say time is a test of truth. What is ultimately true will endure through all time. And time is actually assisting. It is the birth of truth. So, if you're in your truth and you are going to, you're going to make it, you're going to last, you're going to thrive, you're going to blossom, you're going to, be an example, be a model to really the future generations. And I have to stop talking. I'm over time. So what I always say, namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Aloha.